following broadcast is a production of HCC TV.
Hi, I'm Justin Boyd.
I'm Brittany Pacheco.
I'm Frank Cooper.
And we are
The Watchers in the Basement.
Welcome to the Watchers in the Basement. We are here coming to you from the Main Street Studios here at HCC TV. And every Monday we're reviewing the latest episode of Game of Thrones. Yeah, someone is missing, if you haven't noticed. It's kind of throwing off things a little bit here. We're here every Monday reviewing the latest episode of Game of Thrones. And last night's episode was controversial. We have a lot of things to say about it. Before we talk about last night's episode, though, let's talk about last week. Last week was a big week for us. We saw some big gains in our numbers online, in our views and our listens, and we just want to thank everyone for watching, whether you're watching on HCC TV, YouTube, listening on SoundCloud. We love our SoundCloud listeners. Please tell a friend. Mother's Day is coming up. Tell your mom. That's a great gift for Mother's Day. The Watchers in the Basement.
It's free.
It's absolutely free. It's fun. We're trying to make it better every week.
Yep.
And if you want to talk to us, the best way to hit us up is on social media. Use the hashtag #WatchersBasement. We're on Twitter, we're on Facebook, and we're on Instagram. And again, please like this video, subscribe to our channel, and listen on SoundCloud. We love that. So anyway, guys, let's get to it. So last night was episode 4 of season 8, entitled "The Last of the Starks." Cool title. Don't know if the title really represented the episode all that well, but there's some
I agree
stuff.
with that.
Yeah. So let's start off the top. So the episode opens. The Battle of Winterfell is over, and there's lots of people that died. About half the people in the battle from Winterfell were killed in the battle.
Yep.
We start out with a funeral. A funeral for the fallen, and we see Jorah, we see Theon, we see Lyanna. Who else is there?
Ed, Beric, the Dothraki.
Yeah, so just talk about what do you think about, like, we see Dany mourning over Jorah. We see Sansa doing the same thing with Theon. What did y'all think about the way the episode started?
I think it was very appropriate because I know when we ended last week's episode, you asked if maybe they were going to acknowledge the fallen. And I felt like they actually had to.
I agree.
There's no way that you couldn't because of the magnitude of deaths and then just some of the main characters that died as well.
Right.
So I think it was really great that they actually showed Jorah, Theon, Lyanna, and Ed and Beric again for their one last shot on screen. And I actually got a little emotional just because of I'm good. I felt like I was watching Endgame all over again. Stay tuned for that review. But Dany, of course, is very affected by Jorah's death. You know, he was her most trusted advisor despite his betrayal. But with Theon and Sansa, because we kind of got that really brief connection between the two of them, and she was very emotional. You know, she's kind of like, touching, his body, and then she takes off this Stark pen, which has, the direwolf sigil, and she places it on his body before the funeral pyres are lit.
Was that like a Hand of the Queen kind of pen?
I thought that, but I think
Hand of the King or something. That's what I was thinking.
I don't know if the wardens or wardeness wear anything like that. I think it was just like a symbol of the Stark family, and as we already previously stated, Theon is a Greyjoy, but he's also a Stark.
Yeah, he grew up with them.
Yeah.
So Frank, what'd you think about it?
I thought it was beautifully done. Cause like watching the episode last week, it was so dark. You really didn't get an idea of how many people actually got lost. And then that wide open scene, that wide open shot of like all the beds of like bodies, in that square shape.
Funeral pyres.
Yeah, the funeral pyres. It kind of takes you back, like, oh man, they took some L's. I mean, they had victory, but it came at a cost.
Yeah.
So I think showing that, and then John with the eulogy, I thought it was beautifully shot.
Oh, definitely.
Seeing Jorah and seeing Dolores and those guys and Theon, we forget that Game of Thrones shows that they're gangsters when it comes to these deaths, and now they do a good job of like showing how it affects the rest of the people who love these beloved characters. So I think it was beautifully shot.
But to your point with John making the speech that he made, and I thought it was very appropriate that it was John over, let's say, Dany, because even though she's their queen, this is Winterfell. This is the home of the Starks.
They would have rioted.
Probably.
If Danny, who outsider, would have spoken to Dad that she doesn't really know that well. Yeah.
But for him to say, we say goodbye to our brothers and sisters, our mothers and fathers, all the men and women who fought in this battle, and it's basically the living's responsibility to keep their memory alive long after they're gone and long after those who come behind them are gone. And it just plays to the notion of the world's memory and the world's history. You have to remember that apparently this is what the Night King's mission was, to erase the world's memory, and Bran was that key. But I really like that callback John gave, which was part of the Night's Watch oath. We are the shields that guard the realms of men, and we shall never see their likes again. Which I thought was really moving. I thought it was very appropriate. And again, coming from John, who was beyond the wall, but he was that shield that guarded the realms of men. I thought it was just very appropriate for him to say that. And just kind of give that send-off, and then everyone came with their torches. All the kind of higher up peoples, Dany, Jon, Sansa, Arya, Sam, and Grey Worm.
Yep, they all went.
They
with
all
their
went.
respective.
Oh, and Tormund too.
Yeah.
They all lit the respected funeral pyres, and I think it was a very humbling kind of open. But now the great war has ended, but now we need to kind of
last
start
war.
preparing for the last war.
And also they showed Ghost, this guy.
They
He was
did.
actually in the episode, actually quite a bit, though we may have said farewell, but that'll be coming up.
Yeah.
So after the funeral, we go to a feast.
Yes, we
and
do.
they're toasting Dany, they're toasting the Dragon Queen, they're toasting Jon.
It does begin with a very kind of awkward vibe
Yeah.
amongst the head table, and then just the atmosphere in the Great Hall itself. I mean, they're all dining, but it is after a funeral, and Gendry being Gendry, he's of course looking for Arya, and he's eventually acknowledged by Dany, and she says, "You're Robert Baratheon's son." He says, "Yes, I'm his bastard." You know, and they have this exchange where she points out, "Hey, your dad tried to kill me. He took the throne," but in a weird take, she legitimizes Gendry to be Lord of Storm's End.
Definitely
And
a strategic move on her part. It's-
very much so, and I
Yeah.
think Frank is actually going to be talking about that in his Let's Be Frank. But I mean, what do you think?
Yeah, so let's be frank. So Dany did this to get electoral college votes. This is why she made that move. It wasn't because this guy was a bastard. This guy went through hell and high water to get to where he is today. Let me honor him by giving him his ancestral home, right? It wasn't. It was very cynical on her part. And look, I get it. When it comes to politics, you gotta do what you gotta do in order to get allegiances from certain people. I had no problem with it until the following scene where Jon is being honored by Tormund and the rest of the North, and how Jon has died and died for his people and rode the dragon. Like, people are like really praising this young man, and like off in the corner you see Dany like, this man just stole my thunder.
Yeah.
And it shows me that to call back to Gendry's scene, you didn't honor Gendry because you thought it was the right thing to do. You honored him because you wanted glory out of it. You wanted those people to see you the same way that the North sees Jon. And I thought, I thought that it was it's very cynical, and like at the same time, I'm slowly losing respect for Dany, because at the end of the day, a leader needs to do things the right way because it's right for the people, not for your own self-interest.
gain.
Yeah, and that, and seeing her just sour behind Jon's back is just like, you supposedly love this man, but you only love him conditionally, as long as you're in the forefront. That's what that scene told me.
That's a good way of putting it. You love him, but you love him conditionally.
It's conditional love.
That's a very good point.
What did y'all think of it?
I've always supported Dany. I always thought, hey, she should get the throne. And then, of course, when we learned that Jon is a Targaryen as well, now you're kind of getting that split. And I think appropriately, I'm wearing a shirt that shows the Stark and House Targaryen sigils, and it is split. I mean, it's split down this right down the middle. And that's kind of where I feel maybe a lot of people, aside from me, they're not sure who to support entirely, because I do agree with you. Her pettiness and then her lack of maturity is really starting to get in the way because going back to the scene where she legitimizes Gendry, Tyrion leans into her and says, basically, this boy will forever be loyal to you. And she says back to him, see, you're not the only clever person
one.
here.
Mm-hmm.
And so it really reinforces what you were basically saying. This was a political move. This was for personal interest and whatnot. And it worked for a very brief period because all these men were, cheering for her and cheering for Gendry. And then you hear Tormund. Tormund's talking about, I saw Jon ride a dragon. Yeah, we all did. No, but I saw him. And it's funny because Tormund is just a funny character in general, but he also toasts to the Dragon Queen. And instead of, oh, thank you so much, it's, oh, we're going to toast to Arya Stark, the hero of Winterfell. And that gets everyone else up and going as well. So it's great, but it's very short-lived.
Yeah. And that's the major difference between Jon and Dany. When Jon does things, it's for the good of the realm. When he brought the wildlings beyond the wall, right? It was for the good of the realm. When he fought the Battle of the Bastards, it was to get the North back. It wasn't because he wanted glory out of it. Everything was done for the good of the North.
Right.
And Dany's doing the opposite. Everything is done in self-interest to make her look better. Breaker of chains. All these political plays she's done over the last 6-7 years has been done to make herself look good.
And she wants to be beloved by those people. I mean, she thought that, hey, I brought my dragons, I brought my Unsullied, I brought my Dothraki, and most of them paid the ultimate price for you.
Right.
We saved your precious Winterfell. And so I think she thinks that should be be beloved. And it just doesn't work that way.
No, it doesn't. And to me, well, go ahead, 'cause I don't want to get too far ahead. Go ahead.
But no, we do see then Tormund praising Jon, and of course he's praising Jon in front of the other wildlings, the other northern men, as well as Dany, and she's just kind of kicking back. She's just taking it all in, and Tormund is saying, "Who rides a dragon, a madman or a king?" And I definitely feel that that's kind of foreshadowing what could be happening in these last 2 episodes. Not necessarily about Jon, but I definitely think about Dany, and we can get to that a little bit later.
But Tormund, I like the way Tormund brings up the resurrection, like so casually.
So casual.
It's like, does everybody know now that Jon died?
That's
and was
my
brought
next
back to life?
point.
It's so like,
because Jon was so against it last season, like he didn't want Davos to tell Dany what happened,
Right.
but like now it's like, is it known now? Like there's magical forces out there now?
I guess so, because Arya had, when she first reunited with Jon in the God's Wish, she asked him, how did you survive a stab to the heart? And he says, I didn't. And then they run up to each other and just hug, and it's like, how does that go unannounced? How does that, I don't know.
Yeah.
Northern people are weird.
Very, very.
The feast continues,
Yeah.
and we see a moment between Jaime and Brienne. At this point, Dany has exited from.
exiting the entrance here from
Well,
our.
no kidding.
Nice for you to join us there.
What I missed, guys?
You got Starbucks and bring us none, bro?
What the heck?
So,
What do you mean? I love Starbucks. It's great.
I mean, it is. It is a sponsor of the North, so
yeah, it is.
so
They
that's-
offer it in Winterfell actually. Like it's
You know
great.
what though? We're not sponsored. So
Starbucks sponsor us if you want.
if you want to, Coffee Bean, Seattle's best. Whoever wants to step up to the plate will
Anybody.
gladly accept you. Sorry, go ahead.
Well, nice to have you, George.
Oh yeah. Did I miss anything?
Yeah, some stuff.
Oh.
Well, you might.
We're
think
looking.
differently.
What do you think about what happened last night with Tormund and with?
Why do you think I showed up late? No, this episode was pointless to me.
Wow.
I
The Starbucks
Please
one.
continue to watch and listen. We really appreciate it.
yeah no, keep watching this show. If you want to watch Game of Thrones, that's fine. Just keep
There's
watching.
2
this one.
episodes
That's
left. How could you give up now?
I'm done.
There's no way.
I'm still watching, but like everything is just. Oh my god.
Yeah.
We'll get into it right now.
George is a scorn
Okay.
lover, man.
I'm sorry for interrupting, but no.
Well, let's go from. Let's talk about Jaime and Brienne. That was a huge part of last night's episode.
Definitely. They
What do you think about it?
are drinking.
Yep. Playing a drinking game that Tyrion's drinking
They'll
game.
start playing a drinking
Yeah.
game, and Tyrion's drinking game is basically, I tell a fact about you, and if I'm right, you drink, Frank. But if I'm wrong, then I drink. And so that can go sideways really, really quickly. But that is the game that they're obviously starting to play. There's definite flirtation between the two, I feel, and Podrick's looking on. Tyrion eventually looks on as well. And then there's a really big fact revealed about Brienne that I don't think anyone really wanted to put out there, but Tyrion being
That was awkward.
Tyrion, it was really awkward.
Tyrion like literally called her out.
But shout out to Tyrion peeping game, because right before he asked that question, he sees Brienne and Jaime looking at each other, giving the googly eyes. He's like, "Oh snap! Let me go and drop this bomb real quick and see what happens." Yeah, so.
Yeah, so a little, her virtue still intact.
Right.
And
Not for much longer though.
but almost like on cue, she says, "Okay, I have to go now." And not to quote Bran, but she says she's about to leave. Tormund is approaching her and basically is trying to put the moves on her, and she's not having it. Exit Brienne. And Jaime stands up and he stops Tormund in his tracks and just kind of like pats him and gives him a wink and follows after Brienne. Tormund's heartbroken for like 5 seconds.
And then he finds somebody else.
Yeah.
Or two people,
That a
actually.
boy.
Yeah.
Two people. And really quickly, going earlier, we see an exchange between Tyrion and Bran. Bran is still the three-eyed raven. We talked off screen about now that the Night King is done. Is Bran still the three-eyed raven? Is there a purpose for him? Yeah, he's still the three-eyed raven. He's still weird.
A lot of charisma still. He's very
Definitely.
entertaining, but
Yeah.
let's move past him.
Yeah,
let's go to some entertaining people. Sansa
And the Hound.
have a nice little interaction.
They do. They do. It's kind of weird too because they're like Sansa's like staring almost longingly at the Hound, which I felt was kind of weird.
Yeah.
But they talk about the things that she's gone through, Ramsay, and how ironically she had him killed with hounds, and she's talking to the Hound. And then she grabs the Hound, and George, I'm going to use you as the example. Because
Almost dropped the Starbucks.
let's not do that. Well, that's what it is. And she grabs his hand, and she says, "If I hadn't left King's Landing, I would forever be the little bird." And that I don't know what to make of that. It was just kind of weird.
It's true though.
It's
She-
true.
She
I
would
mean,
not
she
became the
wouldn't-
person she is today
That's true.
if it wasn't
I just thought it
all
was
the
really-
stuff she went through.
It's just a really weird interaction between the two of them. But we have bigger things to discuss, guys. The family secret.
Right.
And Dany's really worried about her claim to the Iron Throne. She wishes that Jon never told her.
She's so annoying, man.
She really is.
Yo, like, God, come on. Like, it was
You're on,
literally.
man. Come on, you're on. You got plenty of chances to shoot
Yes.
her down. I mean, just do it.
Wow.
Yep, just do it, Nike, right? Yeah.
Oh my gosh, you guys are
I'm
terrible.
Team Euron now. All of a sudden, just right now, I decided.
No.
Allegiance change always. But Dany tells Jon privately, they kind of have like this little makeout session, and then she gets rejected, and she.
I mean, she's his aunt.
Yes.
By the way, just don't.
Well, see, in
I
her
thought that's
eyes,
what they were doing. Like, I thought that's what the awkward part was. Be like, oh, wait a minute, we can't do this.
Right.
Nope, it wasn't because of that.
no, it wasn't because of that. But in her family, Targaryens marrying other Targaryens,
Yeah, it's
that's
normal.
But for
Yeah.
him, he's a Stark, and that point is also made later by Varys. But she doesn't want Jon's true identity to be revealed because it threatens her claim.
Right.
Frank, I mean,
Which again, this is when I think I can't like Dany any less. She proves me wrong.
that's tough.
Because it's like you say you love this man, right? And you want to be with this man. Only if he keeps his secret to himself. And again, it shows the selfishness and power hungriness of what Dany Targaryen really is all about. I love you only if it puts my claim in the forefront of your parentage. And she's not worried about loving this man and being with this man long term. She's worried about her claim. And at the end of the day, it just shows me that she might be slowly turning to the Mad Queen. She's so used to people revering her and loving her. And the minute that somebody steals her thunder, she's threatened by it. And you saw it with Sansa in episode 1. You saw it with Jon at the beginning of this episode. She does not want her thunder taken.
She makes that point that she's seen the look that the people gave Jon. She's like, I know that look. I was shown that look, but not on this side of the sea.
And that's my point. Like, you can't. A queen, a leader, does things for the best of the people, and a lot of it is looking at yourself in the mirror and realizing that, you know what, maybe I might not be the best leader that I think I am. Maybe maybe this man that I love could be the better leader than I can. Because at the end of the day, this is all about the people. It's about the realm. It's about, you want to break the rule, as you said in season 4 and season 5, but only by your standards and by your conditions.
Yes.
That's not breaking the will. Then
No, you're correct.
You're still keeping intact some sort of broken system that's been going through Westeros for the last.
It's just her. It's her
however
will.
long.
Now. It's her will.
Yeah, it's her
It
will,
is.
and then her basically demanding John, no, we can't live together if you do what I say. Like I'm gonna need John to step up and be a man, be like, say sis, we not say auntie,
Auntie.
we not. That's not how it's going down.
Yeah.
It's just
Well,
I
she
don't know.
even says, she says, I never have to do this, but she begs him not to
She
tell.
does.
And he says, I have to tell Arya, I have to tell Sansa.
Mm-hmm.
So,
And we talked about this before we started recording, but he's pretty freaking naive about who he can tell certain things to people and think it's not going to get out.
Ned's blood runs through his veins.
Yep.
Clearly.
Yes, clearly. But before we really get into that, Dany wants to go ahead and plan their next move to invade King's Landing, but there's weakened forces. Justin, you said it earlier that about 50% of the forces are gone. That's Unsullied, Dothraki, which I thought the Dothraki were completely extinct, but I
so
guess
too.
not.
Yeah.
The Vale, the Northern Men, everybody. And
Dany's ready to fight. She's ready to
She's
go.
ready to go.
Sansa says, you know what? They're not ready. They're injured. They're beaten up.
Yeah.
And Dany's like, well, how long is it going to take? And Sansa's like, I don't know. Like, how would you know? How could you know that?
And that goes to my point of being a great leader. Like you're not connected to the North at all. And
Right.
and now I see why the North don't really rock with her like that, because if you truly care about the North, you will see that how these forces are broken in and weakened right now.
Yeah.
You need to buy time. Yeah, I get it. Your throne, your birthright is still occupied by Cersei, but you can't attack King's Landing with a weakened force. And it shows her lack of compassion for the people, for the people who are laying their lives down for her, and for her claim. So, yeah.
how did y'all feel about Jon defending Dany over his family?
Especially about George.
John defending who?
Dany. George is just done.
no.
He's so over it.
You had coffee, too.
I don't know. I'm still done. No, I mean, I don't think that was John's job to defend her now. Like, she's just going overboard. Like everything that Frank said is true. Like, she doesn't value like the people that are dying for her and fighting for her. She just, I don't know. She's just becoming one of those characters now that, like, seriously, I'm waiting for her to die.
Oy. Okay, who do you want to die more now that we're talking about this, Cersei or Dany?
Both of them.
Both would be fine
Both
with
of
me.
Wow. That's a big question.
You know, and Varys brought up a good point in that episode too. Tyrion talks about how, Dany would be a great leader, and Varys says something to the effect of sometimes a leader not wanting to be leader will be the best leader. And Jon has shown time and time again when he was Lord Commander, he didn't want that title, but he did the best he
But he
could.
did this. Yep.
King of the North, he did not want the title. The people gave him that title, and it's going to that same direction with him probably being heir to the throne, because he doesn't want it. But sometimes the best leaders are the ones who don't have
Chosen by the people?
Yeah, chosen by the people, and don't have an ulterior motive.
Democracy.
Yeah, but
He's
sometimes
a
the best
born
leaders don't have an
leader.
ulterior motive.
He
You know
is.
what I'm
He
saying?
definitely is.
Yeah, he has no ulterior motive. He just wants the best for the people.
But I see John's point. He's conflicted because he keeps telling Dany time and time and again, you're my queen, you're my queen. I don't want the throne, I don't want the throne, but they're also my family. So it's just, it's hard to even just watch Jon and his arc kind of changing as well, because he's such a honorable person like that of his father, but then he's also kind of going against his family, but she's also his family, Daenerys, so it's weird. I was surprised to hear about Dorne. We haven't heard about Dorne in quite some time. There's a new prince, and the prince has pledged his allegiance to Dany. Great, cool. Yara took back the Iron Throne in the Iron Islands in Dany's name. Cool. And meeting adjourns. People are walking out. Arya wants a word with her brother, and that's about to go down.
Yeah, this is where we get the last of the Starks. They all meet
Exactly.
together, and Jon basically, he's going to tell them the secret, but he has them swear that they won't tell anyone. They
Right.
both Sansa kind of begrudgingly agrees to it. Arya agrees to it. And then he turns to Bran, because Bran is so charismatic. No one can deliver a line like our guy Bran. And we don't get to see it on camera.
No, we
hated
don't.
this
Bran tells
scene.
I know, like, why not show us their reactions? What do y'all think about that?
That was
Like,
point. Like again, why? Why did you not show this?
Yeah.
Like this is. I know they've said it like a couple times already, but this is the reaction you've been waiting for to hear his family like find out about Jon's true heritage, and they cut it off. And again, later on, when Sansa tells Tyrion, they cut it off too.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
don't show us. They don't show us those. And those reactions are kind of priceless, I think. Like,
Yeah.
like Arya's reaction, because her and Jon are so close.
Yes.
She kept saying, "You're my brother.
Yeah.
You're not my half brother.
Yes.
You're not my bastard brother. You're my brother."
Yeah.
What do you think about that, Frank?
Oh, I was pissed. Like you pay these actors to act. Let them act. You know what I'm saying? Like that's their job. It's like, and we talked about this before the show. It's like watching the Game 7 of the NBA Finals and Michael Jordan's going for the game-winning 3, but you cut the TV off and you fast forward to the parade. No, I want to see this play out. Show me the basketball player doing great things. Show me actors acting great. Like
But if there's a parade, that means a shot went in. So
yeah,
I'll take it.
It's
but I would
just
like to see it
assumed.
too. Yeah.
I want to see this play out. Like it just to me, it's kind of lazy writing to,
It is.
and to do it twice in the same episode to cut it off over and over again in the same episode. It just
I don't think they had enough coffee. They need them to stay awake, probably.
I guess so.
Yeah.
They must have run out.
Yeah,
at
they
that
must have
point.
ran out at that
Yeah.
point.
They have a ride through at their Starbucks instead of a drive through, so
And of course,
So
or a fly through with the dragon.
after Sansa pledges not to tell anyone,
Yeah.
literally the next scene, she's telling Tyrion. And if you tell Tyrion, other people are going to find out. He later tells Varys. So, like, they even mentioned that 8 people know the secret.
They do.
It's probably like 80 now. And they're telling
everyone
everybody.
knows. Especially if Varys,
But
Varys knows,
Yeah.
he's gonna tell
They're
everybody.
probably blogging or something, tweeting about it. Hashtag Watcher's Basement. they probably did that. Probably hit us up too. Yeah.
But that's
I
so
gotta check.
calculated by Sansa. That was a calculated move by Sansa.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
she knows for
Oh,
a
yeah.
fact Tyrion can't hold water.
Oh,
And she
yeah.
knows for a fact Tyrion is Dany's advisor or her main advisor. So she knows I'm gonna hit this domino and hopefully it spreads like wildfire.
That's that Littlefinger
Pun intended.
influence right
Yeah.
there.
That's,
Yeah.
I was
Exactly.
just gonna say that. That's
Yeah.
definitely. She learned a lot from Littlefinger. She's now
She's stirring up the pot. She's
Yeah.
oh, let me
Sure.
see what
Oh,
I can
geez,
do.
We're
Move
stirring
by
up the
her.
coffee, but she's definitely thinking about her next moves even before
Right.
Yeah.
anything else happens. And I thought that was pretty petty of her to do that. I want to believe that it's in the best interest of the realm, much like Varys talks about.
Whatever the realm is.
Whatever
just
the realm is
people.
at this point.
Yeah.
But she obviously wants, if now that she knows Jon's true lineage, she very much wants him on the throne over Daenerys. One, he does have the better claim
Yeah.
as the male line, but
Yeah.
Sansa knows Jon, and she doesn't know Daenerys. She doesn't like Daenerys, and
Yeah.
okay, fine. But it still was a really petty move because you're also breaking a promise that you gave to your brother.
I see both sides. I get it, but I think that scene before where Dany's basically like screw your men,
Yeah.
screw your armies.
Yeah.
It's like you show no love for the North. You want to have the North under your command, but you don't care about my people. So watch how I uphold my promise to you when you can't even care about my own people that's fighting and laying their lives for you.
Yeah.
So it's petty, but the same way I understand the pettiness though.
Yeah.
Facts.
Well, let's talk about one other fact that I got right because last episode I called it.
You did.
I said Jaime and Brienne love each other. I said it. I've been saying it. I've been saying it hard.
Yeah. Only
and-
person in the world who said that. Right here.
Oh, stop. I wanted it to happen. Yes, I did want to see monster babies with kissed by fire hair and whatnot. Don't get me wrong. But I literally jumped off my couch and just started like, yeah, you know, they're about to have fun. But before that, Jaime walks into Brienne's room and he talks about how warm it is, and you know they start kind of undoing their clothing.
Nice move.
Yeah.
It's a good move.
It's
to
a good
get things
move.
going.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's pretty slick.
yeah.
And Jaime asks about Tormund, about what Brienne thinks of Tormund, and she says to him, what I was thinking, you sound jealous. And he's like, maybe.
was jealous.
You know, he
The
is
whole
jealous,
time.
like the whole
Yeah.
entire time, exactly. And things start progressing, and you know, clothes come off, and Jaime says, "I've never slept with a knight before," which I thought was hilarious. I thought that was a really funny. He's never slept with anyone other than Cersei.
Yeah.
So he knighted her twice, right?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did.
Good one.
Hey, shout out to
Good
Jamie.
one, Justin.
Jamie put it to sleep too. Shout out to Jamie for doing that.
Arya
man.
did
I
that with
was-
Gendry,
I
and now
was-
Jaime did that with Brienne.
Hey,
The North does some weird things to you.
yeah, man. They ain't playing no games out there.
So Jamie decides after well, again, they don't show that much. They don't show much of that either, which wasn't surprising. Jamie
Were you
decides he's going to stay at Winterfell because Brienne's staying at Winterfell. She's pledged to stay with Sansa and protect Sansa. And then Jamie realizes that he can't stay away from Cersei.
Didn't stay for too long, huh?
Yeah.
And then Brienne's crying. I was like, you deserved it.
That's so mean.
If she would have stayed with Tormund, would that have happened? No, exactly.
Okay.
No.
You know what? You're
Done.
right. You're right. Because if
I did not feel sad for
you
her.
know what?
bro.
You know what? Now you bring that, that's a good point. If Tormund gets that, Tormund doesn't going to be on the wall because he says why the reason he's leaving because the women don't love me down here.
Yep.
Had Brienne loved him,
I do not
they
feel
would have
bad for her.
stayed.
Not at
They would
all.
have made wildling babies at Winterfell and lived happily ever after.
Don't feel bad at all.
So it came at a cost. Look
Yep.
at that.
So as hard as I shipped Jamie and Brienne when that scene played out, as Jamie finds out what Cersei has done, we're gonna get to what has happened in a little bit, but he can't stay away from Cersei. Brienne says to him as he's leaving, "You're a good man." He says, "I'm a good man." You say, "I pushed a child out of a window to get for Cersei. I killed my own cousin."
Strangled him.
With bare hands for
What
Cersei.
cousin was that?
It was when he was in prison. He was
Yes.
a kill cast.
Ah, yeah.
And his
Okay.
cousin
Yeah.
was thrown in
Yeah.
it with him.
I remember now.
Yeah.
Right, and so basically he's pointing out all these things that he's done for Cersei. He says, she's a hateful person and so am I. And I'm like, yes, you are. I hate you at this point.
But this time,
Where's Tormund?
right? This time he's trying to get back to Cersei because he's going to kill Cersei. That's
so.
what I
You
think.
think so?
I think so,
What do you think,
too.
George?
I hope so.
I hope
Yeah,
so, too.
I hope you're right.
Yeah.
I just can't see him going back and then being like,
Yeah.
It wouldn't make sense for
Hey,
his
what's
character.
up?
Yeah, it wouldn't make sense for his character arc. You've done all these great deeds over the last couple of years, only to fall back 3 steps back to fall in love with a hateful
Yeah.
woman
But I
like
brought that
Cersei.
up. I brought that up last episode. I was
did.
very concerned about what was going to happen with Jamie.
You did.
Yeah.
I will buy you a week's worth of Starbucks coffee if he goes back and loves and
or just coffee. We're not
just
sponsored.
coffee in
We're
general.
not-
Yeah, just coffee in general.
Yep. I don't drink coffee, but we'll figure out something.
So Jamie says farewell to Brienne, and then we
Yes.
get several farewells. Some of them I didn't expect really any of these.
I didn't.
John and Tormund basically says what you said a second ago that he's going to take the wildlings back north, and John mentions this is the north, and
But John also wants Tormund to take another important character back with him.
Yeah.
Ghost.
That's gonna be.
What the heck, John? You don't acknowledge your animal, your pet, your beloved friend for how long? And then you said, "Oh, Tormund, take him with you." Really?
Yeah.
Really?
don't even pet him.
Don't pet him. Don't hug him. Don't wink at him. Nothing. Like
No
you
acknowledgement.
hug Gilly, a woman that you barely know for like 2
Who's
seconds.
pregnant again, by the way?
Yeah,
But with Sam's child this time.
Right.
Yeah.
but you can't acknowledge your own pet. Like I'm a dog lover, and like I would never just leave the house and not acknowledge my dog. You know, it's cold blooded, man.
I don't have animals. Y'all know I've never had a dog, and every time I see a dog, I'm like, "Oh my god, you could do a little puppy, shuki." But like, how do you not acknowledge Ghost? Seriously. Terrible. It was awful. But yeah, Sam and Gilly are expecting.
Yep.
Gilly says to John, if we have a boy, we want to name him John. He makes a funny remark, "Oh, I hope you have a girl."
Hope it's a girl.
I hope so too.
Yep.
Honestly, I hope so too. But I did like how Tormund told John in his farewell, "You have the North in you. You have the real North in you." So hopefully John will keep that in mind. I feel like maybe that's a important piece of information that John needs to hold on to as he's making his way down south to King's Landing with Davos. Not on Rhaegal, by the way, because Rhaegal needs to heal. He does have some holes in his wings, and
But we'll see more of Rhaegal here.
He
in a
has some more
second.
holes in him now.
yeah, he does. There's no way of getting around that because Dany leaves with the dragons to go back to Dragonstone with the Unsullied and Varys and Tyrion in tow, and they have that discussion about Jon's true identity. And Varys is also sharing, I guess, his concerns about that. And I know, George, that was part of your hot takes of pretty much Varys calling it like it is.
Yeah.
What's your take on that?
Yeah, no, I'm glad Varys, like, at least talked to Tyrion, they're discussing this, because, like, he sees Dany's starting to become, like, her dad. Like, she's going mad. And now, especially what happened at the end, like, they kill Missandei, so, like, now, like, you
Spoiler,
saw
by
that?
the way.
Yeah, spoiler.
Spoiler.
They seen the episode. They already know.
He's
So,
done, by the way, guys.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. So, but yeah, she's gonna be furious. Like, I feel like y'all remember that scene where she had that vision or whatever with the snow or whatever? That wasn't snow. That was ashes because she burned the whole city down.
Ooh,
So
that's a different take.
I think that's what's gonna
I
happen.
mean, a dragon does survive because in Bran's vision, season 6, you
Yeah,
see a
it's flying
dragon
over.
flying over.
Yeah.
Yep.
Now
No, but I
for a
think-
fact, it's only just one dragon flying over,
No, yeah.
flying over King's
Yes.
Landing at this point.
Right.
Danny is the battle strategies in season 8 has really annoyed me. It doesn't make sense. You have all these grizzled, battle-hardened vets, and they keep making rookie mistakes. You know, Cersei has the Euron, the Greyjoy fleet.
Yeah.
The fleet's on water. You know this.
Yeah.
So if you know this, why would you fly your dragons over water? Why would you not just fly them over land and come from behind and attack King's Landing if you plan to attack King's Landing?
Also, why did you not use your faceless assassin that could just sneak in and kill Cersei or do anything?
Well-
Did they not ask her, hey, Arya, what are you doing after you kill the Night King?
Well, we did see
What are
prior.
your plans?
What are your plans? Yeah, she just rides off with a hound. They don't
Exactly.
talk, like, come on.
They both have unfinished business in King's Landing too, and that I think obviously foreshadows the Clegane Bowl, and then maybe I still maintain Jaime's gonna die in King's Landing, but Arya's gonna find him, take his face, and then she's gonna go and kill Cersei because Cersei is still on her list.
Yeah.
So hopefully that'll
The
happen.
dragons and the flying. How do they not see all those ships on the
Yeah.
Like,
Exactly.
did they not look
Yeah.
down at all? Like,
Dragons are blind.
we learn this
not
stuff every
bats.
week. We learn new stuff every week. But they're flying along. It's a
Yeah.
beautiful day. You know, they're having fun. All of a sudden,
Boom!
yeah. So
I laugh.
Euron,
I'm
those,
sorry.
Arrows.
those giant crossbow scorpion things, starts firing arrows.
Yeah.
Kills Rhaegal. He's hit 3 times.
Yep.
Just crash lands in the water.
I wonder if that foreshadows Jon's death.
Probably. I thought
just
that too.
curious.
I don't know.
Rhaegal's named after Jon's true father, who was
Yeah.
Rhaegar, so I'm just curious
I thought
about
about
that.
that.
But
Possibly.
but in the midst of this now battle, because then the ships are being shot at, people go overboard. Tyrion jumps off the ship. They emerge on a beach nearby, and Missandei's nowhere to be found.
Yep.
So that's a little disheartening.
Because she was captured.
She was
by
captured.
Euron's fleet. Yeah.
One thing, and we kind of skipped
By
over this.
Aquaman? Did he come and pick her up?
That would have been great. He could have saved the day.
It still would have been a terrible movie, I'm sure.
Toronto.
But one thing we actually skipped over, guys, is a big return of Bronn. Bronn finally comes back after the first episode, or is it the first episode or the second episode?
First.
First episode.
Thank you.
First episode.
Yeah.
So he comes in tow with a crossbow, and he basically is threatening to kill Jaime and Tyrion, talks to them about what Cersei has offered, and Tyrion, being Tyrion, wants to offer something greater. Bronn wants a castle.
Yeah.
He's promised River Run by Cersei.
I don't blame Bronn. I'm surprised Bronn didn't do this on his own volition because he was promised to betroth to a lady. He was promised to be a knight, which he did on his own. He was promised a castle, which was taken away. Like he kept putting his life on the line over and over again. And then the one time he did get money or gold, he lost in the Loot Train episode last season. So
Yeah.
he was just he's been messed around for the last couple seasons, and I don't blame him for doing what he did.
But Tyrion is offering High Garden, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
We'll see if they even survive.
Yeah.
So now let's go to King's Landing.
King's
where That's where
Landing.
the next battle is going to be, and we have this meeting between Cersei's army and
Daenerys.
Daenerys' army.
So
And
face off between the
face
hands.
off. Hands of the Queen. We
Hand
have
of the Queens.
on Team Danny. We have Tyrion, and then for Team Cersei we have Qyburn. They walk out. Qyburn walks out the gate. They meet. They talk a little bit. Basically, they're telling the other one, "You have to surrender." No, you have to surrender.
No, you have to surrender.
Right.
Yeah. They
No
go back and
one's-
forth.
No one's going to surrender. Meanwhile, up top, you see Missandei held captive. You've got Cersei. You've got Euron behind her, and you've got the mountain.
Who, by
lurking.
the way, Cersei reveals to Euron that she's pregnant, and Qyburn confirms that with a
Right.
little nod. So I'm sure that's going to come into play in the next couple of episodes.
I think
And
so.
that was an awkward situation because Tyrion knows he talked about the pregnancy
We
from
talked
it.
about the pregnancy.
I bet you Euron's gonna be like, hey, wait a minute, how'd you
How'd you
know
find
that?
out? Hey, how'd you find out?
He
about
did.
Yeah.
He did kind of look at Cersei.
Yeah.
When she's obviously getting very emotional, physically emotional, and when Tyrion's not getting anywhere with Qyburn, he
Yeah, goes straight
walks
to
past Qyburn to approach Cersei, and it looks like maybe she's going to again kill him. She's kind of becoming this boy who cried wolf kind of bit with threatening to have her brothers killed, and then she ultimately doesn't do anything about it. So she just needs to stop. But
she kills other people.
Yeah. she
well,
doesn't-
but I'm
yeah,
talking about her
no
brothers.
problems.
Right.
I'm talking about her brothers.
Do y'all think Tyrion did that on purpose? Like he called her out for the pregnancy thing right then and there for
Oh,
a
yeah,
reason to say
definitely.
it in front of Euron.
Definitely. Definitely.
Maybe, probably so.
Maybe, yeah.
Or it may have just been
Possible.
a desperate plea of like, look, you're easily could kill me. You have 25 archers who are aimed directly at
And
me.
let's be real, they should have killed everybody.
Oh, they
Yeah.
should have, yeah.
Yeah.
They had the
This-
scorpions all set up. Even the dragon was
Why?
like in the background, which
Man, they got to work on all those scorpions. Did you see how many there were?
there's-
Did you see how many there were on the
there's
ships?
probably like 50 of them. Or
Huh,
more. I mean,
it's
there were a
crazy.
ton of them.
Again, the battle strategy. Why would you have your last dragon
Right.
On
you
the
have
field.
on the field sitting there as
there.
there's 20 scorpions lined up
Yeah.
alongside the wall?
Mm-hmm.
Why would you? Like, if I'm Cersei, I'm like, I'm finna wipe all you guys out. Because Jon is 2 weeks away.
Yeah.
Jon and North and Davos, they're 2 weeks away from even making the King's Landing. So I
Right.
could have wiped everybody out.
They should have.
They
Wait
should've.
for Jon to get there,
I-
wipe
they
him out.
should've. I
and
would've
then
been happy.
Yeah, in the
Yeah.
end.
I mean,
It doesn't make
Yeah.
it doesn't make sense. The better strategies in these episodes.
Yeah.
It doesn't.
So now they're gonna be nice to each other, be like, oh, okay, we're gonna call this truce right now. We're just gonna wait, and we're not gonna murder you as soon as you get there.
No.
There's like rules of engagement all of a
No.
sudden.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
Right.
No.
it's in Game of Thrones.
No.
That doesn't make any sense at all.
Yeah, but Tyrion, to your original question, George, I think he revealing to everyone that he knows about her pregnancy, I think that's strategic because he keeps telling her, you're a monster, you're a monster. You're not a monster, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You
No,
love
she
your
is.
children. And she is, because she proved that in her next move when she tells Missandei, if you have any last words, now's the time. And I had no idea
I
what
knew
she was going to
gonna-
say.
I knew she was gonna say Dracarys.
I didn't think
screamed
that.
at the
So did
TV.
I, so did I.
And I was
So did
like,
I.
you know what would have been so cool if the dragon
Dragon?
just starts, the fire just comes out
Right
and
there
rains
with
on
it.
everybody.
That
That's
would
what I
have
thought was going to happen because the way she said it.
Like, why would you say that?
I know.
I thought she was going to say, like, Valar Morghulis, which
that
is...
would have been good too.
That
I didn't
was-
even think about that.
That
Yeah.
was my bit, but no, she said Dracarys, which was awesome.
Pointless.
I was hoping that the Drogon would do something, and then the mountain just comes up from behind her, unsheathes his sword, and beheads her. At the very top of the castle wall, and Grey Worm and Dany are looking on, and Grey Worm has to turn
Turns
away, and
away.
it's really heartbreaking to see that. But then now we're also seeing a different look on Dany's face, and I
she was
wholeheartedly believe she's beginning to turn into the Mad Queen.
She's going to.
Well, remember in season 7, Olenna told her, "You're a dragon.
Be a dragon."
Yeah.
I think that's gonna call back. I think she's gonna start being a true dragon and going ham.
I agree.
And like the look on Grey Worm's face, so I think I know how his story is going to end. I think he's going to try to.
Did I
go
call
after
it
the
though?
mountain.
Did I call
You
it?
did. No, you called it. Yeah,
Yeah.
she died out of the two.
Yeah.
You did. Good call.
Yeah.
I think he's going to try to go after the mountain. I think they're going to have an epic battle, much like Oberyn and the mountain kind of battle.
Yeah.
The mountain is going to get to the best of Grey Worm, and then the Hound comes in, and we get.
Oh,
to,
that'd be
we get the
amazing.
battle between the brothers. And
That's really good.
Not bad.
I really like that.
that's what I see happening with that.
So do you
Yeah.
think now we're going to go into the last war with 2 Mad Queens? Because there's still wildfire
Yeah.
in King's Landing.
That's true. I
Do you
forgot
think
about the
Cersei
wildfire.
would, use that to her advantage, and we still have
definitely.
the dragon fire?
sure.
I don't know who to like. When it comes to the 2 queens, they're the same. They're the same to me at this point. They're both heartless. They both don't really care about their people. And Dany showed it this past episode. Like, I hope Jon wins. Like, I'm at this point now. No death surprises me anymore. I'm numb to any death at this point.
Same.
After Ned and Oberyn got murked in season 1 and season 4 respectively, you can't hurt me anymore. I'm just a spectator now at this point.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I'm very concerned about, Daenerys' state of mind, and Varys, what he has to say, I think, is becoming more true. And basically, he openly admitted to Tyrion that Varys was going to do what he was always going to do, which is
protect the realm.
protect the realm at all costs. And when Tyrion asked Varys, well, what about her, referring to Daenerys, Varys just kind of gave this look, like,
He's gonna die. Melisandre basically told
She
him
did.
last season, like, I'm gonna die in the same country, this
did.
strange place, same as you. And I mean, and people forget Varys has seen a lot. Varys lived through the Mad King era. He saw what it did to the people, and his fears are justified. And
absolutely.
and I mean, but at least this time he's mad enough to let Daenerys know, look, what you're doing is not right. I told you if you're doing something that I'm gonna disagree with, I'm gonna let you know, but to your face before I go on my own agenda. And
He did.
I gotta respect that Varys. I gotta respect it.
Were you all surprised by how Missandei's death was?
I thought they were gonna do like the 300 Sparta kick and just kick her off.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. I thought she was
I was
gonna
about
kick
to
her off the thing.
I thought she
King's
might
Landing.
jump. I thought she might kill herself. I thought she might jump or something. I didn't know. I thought either the dragon's gonna swoop in or she's gonna kill herself, or I don't know. I didn't see her getting beheaded.
I didn't
That's
either.
totally surprised me. I did not see that coming. Just you have someone up high, like
Yeah.
it's like overkill. Like just
Yeah.
push it. You know, like
Right. Well, when
it's like put him
Cersei,
there, like shooting an arrow at him too. It's like
Yeah.
what's the point? Like just push him over.
well, when Cersei put her hand on Missandei's arm, and I thought at that point she was just gonna like push her off the ledge
Yeah.
right there. But when she said, "If you have any last words," I thought that was just kind of out of character for Cersei. Maybe I'm not sure, but
I think they just wanted to get her to say Dracarys. That's a cool way to get there. It didn't necessarily. You're right. Didn't necessarily make
Didn't
sense
do
for her
anything.
character, but
Yeah.
like it was a cool way to get
it
there.
was a cool way to go. But I think that definitely is not a tell, but just an instruction to Dany: burn them all. Just
Yeah.
go ahead and burn them all.
Yeah.
And I think the Mad Queen has been awakened. So George, you got here a little later. Do you have any other hot takes you want to talk about?
Yeah. Let's see. I don't know. I went over Varys talking about like I'm just glad Varys like acknowledged that they were aunt and uncle, and then does anyone find that weird?
Right.
And
Right.
he finally said it.
Right.
So, and then they talked to Tyrion about that, and he was just like, he's like, it's common within the families and whatever, but
Right.
Tyrion's all for a compromise.
yeah. But also, Gendry, like hot take goes to Gendry for just being a true gentleman and asking Arya to be his lady, and like he got on one knee and everything, and
Gary's
just
proposal, yeah.
friend zoned. What do you think, Frank?
Oh,
Captain Friend Zone, another one.
I thought.
well, Jorah's gone. We need a new one.
Yeah, well, Tormund got
Yeah,
friend
man.
zone too, but
True.
I put that thing on him, man, and he didn't know he didn't know how to respond.
Nope.
I mean, it's adorable, and look, we all know Game of Thrones is not for fairy tales. Like
Yeah.
Arya said back to season 1, like I'm not a lady. That's not me. Which was
Yeah.
a great callback to season 1 when she was talking to her father
was.
Ned, and Gendry had to have known that she was gonna say no. But I think I guess when you're so filled with emotion and quote unquote love,
Yeah.
I don't know how you had time to love her Arya. You saw Arya for maybe 5-10 minutes in
Yeah, that's true.
season 4 and 5 or season 2 and 3, and she was gone all that time, and
Yep.
you had one magical night
you
together.
don't even know her.
Yeah, like you know her, like you know that that's not who she is.
not anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She never was like that. She never
No.
was about getting married and having prince and princesses and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So I thought I was kind of.
But you know, she showed him like the affection in the early seasons. Whenever he's like something
Yeah.
about the family.
Not
It's
really.
like
I
I
could
could
be
be
your
your family.
Yeah.
So they were definitely very close. Although
Yeah.
he thought at the beginning he thought she was a little boy because
Yeah.
of the way her haircut was. And
Ari.
everything, So.
Yeah. What you think of it?
No, I mean, I think it's every girl's dream, I think, but to be proposed to in a way, because of how he said, he's like, all I know is that you're beautiful, I love you, be my wife, be the lady of Storm's End. And that does sound great. If he had said that to Sansa a few seasons ago, I think she would have been head over heels for it. But I agree with Frank saying that's obviously not who Arya is. Gendry should technically know that, but at the same time, he doesn't know Arya like that. But I thought it was kind of cold too how Arya kisses Gendry back and says, "You'll be a wonderful lord, and any woman would be lucky to have you." But no,
Yeah.
she's like, "Why would you do that? Why would you kiss him? Like, put him on this high and then just obliterate him, down to the
Yeah.
ground."
So since we're talking about Gendry, Frank, what do you think about his legitimate, like what they did to him?
I mean, I thought it was awesome. I thought it was more of a political play for Dany. It was more so a political play than actually doing it because it was the right thing to do. And I get it. Look, when you're a leader, a self-proclaimed leader, you're trying to get as many allies as possible. You're playing the politics of Game of Thrones. I get it.
You win or you die.
Yeah, but the issue I had was later on in the episode when Jon's being honored and by Tormund and the rest of the northern houses and stuff. She's off in the corner like jealous. She's PO'd
Yeah.
because she wanted that same affection. But it's like you can't get that affection because you never show that you care for these people.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like it goes both ways. There has to be a sense of sincerity coming from you, and you're
lacking.
not giving that. You know what I'm saying? So I'm happy for Gendry from his perspective.
Yeah.
But the reason behind it, it was very sour for me.
Do you think maybe when this war is over and let's say Arya and Gendry make it, Do you think that there's any they can reconcile, or it's done?
I can see Arya just going on like an adventure, like just leaving, going to Essos, just
Yeah.
being.
She did talk about that.
Just being like seeing everything, just being on her own and being this adventurer. I can see that for Arya. I don't see her like co-leading the
Settling
house.
down.
Yeah, and having kids. She's not domesticated. I don't get that vibe from her.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good to know. George
What
Tormund.
else? Yeah, Tormund, the new stepdad to Ghost, apparently. So
Yeah.
I hope he's a better father than Jon.
Could you say Ghost Stepdad or Ghost Dad? Remember that movie? No
The-
Cosby fans out there?
Oh my gosh.
Should mention.
Ghost dad, baby. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. But no, I thought that farewell with Ghost and Jon was just like, come on, man. Like,
Ghost deserve better.
yeah, way
Ghost
better.
does.
You saw he was
Like-
missing an ear, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
He just kind of like looked at him like,
He
Good luck.
whined.
Like he
Ghost
hugged
whined.
Sam, but he can't hug the
and
dog.
Gilly too. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I hope Tormund takes care of him and they have a great adventure. I'd love to see that spinoff, just Ghost and Tormund. And
I'll
I'd watch that
that.
show.
I'll definitely
I'd watch
watch
that
that.
show.
You, did you guys catch when Tyrion and Bran were talking in the meeting room and Bran tells him I think Tyrion complimented his chair and he's like, yeah, back 120 years ago the
Targaryen.
the chair.
Did he not think,
that was
like,
my,
damn,
that's my
how'd you know
favorite
that?
chair? So for me it goes back Bran, what are you doing? What is your purpose? Are you just going through memory lane through all these different timelines, just kind of just kicking it?
He did say he lives in the past.
Yeah, but it's in the grand scheme of this series of this show, what is your purpose? Are you gonna sit there in your wheelchair and just
Chill.
live through memory lane throughout this? I'm confused by his storyline.
Yeah.
That's true.
Not the writing on the show is
Besides
just.
the one-liners that he delivers, I'm just cracking up because he's just so entertaining.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy, he's just fun. I'm gonna miss him. 2 more episodes. I don't know what I'm gonna do.
Look out, Miller Streep.
So speaking
Got someone on your heels.
so speaking of 2 more episodes, what are we looking ahead to?
Yeah. So next week looks like the last war is beginning. So they show us a trailer at the end of it. Let's just talk about a couple of the scenes they show us because there's no audio, there's no dialogue. I mean, there's audio, there's no dialogue. We see Dany and Tyrion, they're at Dragonstone. I assume they're kind of licking their wounds or trying to
He's
figure out what they're
approaching
gonna
her
do.
very slowly.
He is.
So I wonder if he's very fearful of the awakening of the Mad Queen. I'm going to go ahead and assume the Mad Queen is alive and well.
Oh, yeah.
But
Yeah.
he seems to be approaching her very, very slowly, and it's very concerning.
I think they're going to talk about his sister quite a bit. I
Well-
think he's getting ready for that talk.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
And speaking of his sister, we do see Cersei overlooking King's Landing, which
It's
is
just teeming with activity and people, and
yeah.
you can tell her look on her face is I don't care. They can all die. They're just pawns for me. I don't care.
Yeah,
Like,
her wardrobe has changed too. She's shifted from wearing the all black to this
Looks pretty cool.
really pretty
Yeah, it's
velvety red,
Yeah.
burgundy kind of color, maroon, and she still has this armor on her shoulders. But if you guys notice this high neck, I wonder if that plays into the Valonqar prophecy.
Oh, trying to
'Cause
touch her neck.
Because she's protecting her neck, because supposedly she'll be strangled by the little brother around in the neck, but we'll see. I still think it's Arya Jamie. Jon and Davos arrive at the
Battle of King's
at
Landing.
the
looks
Battle
like.
of King's Landing, and Euron is sailing in one of the ships, and
But John has a look on his face in the battle. It's just a familiar John face. Here we go again. He's in every battle,
He
but
loves
he
it.
never wins.
He
Really,
loves it.
he gets saved.
he does.
I think he's just thinking is this the last one? Please.
I'm done.
There's only another episode. There's only one more episode.
Even
of
John's
this.
done, bro.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
done.
Yeah.
He's tapped out.
Yeah.
For sure.
But yeah, then they show Euron. He's sailing on one of his ships, and
The Lannister armies are marching.
marching, they're
Grey
getting
Worm
ready.
is getting ready for battle, and the Scorpions are all being loaded up. I mean, use what you got. But at the very end, Euron is looking up into the clouds, and then we hear a dragon roar,
Yeah.
which obviously is Drogon, because who else is it going to be?
Is it just one dragon though, or is it something else? I don't know. It seems like it could be. I mean, it's probably just the one dragon, but the way he looks up, it makes me feel like there's something he's not expecting. I feel like he knows the dragon. He's already killed one of the dragons.
It's a flying elephant.
Yeah.
An elephant. Yeah. Dumbo.
Dumbo comes
Yeah.
flying
The
in.
box office bomb is here to
Yes.
save Game of Thrones.
Well, we get to see the Golden Company in action,
Oh yeah.
for sure, on land or on
Yeah.
Yeah,
on
for
the
sure.
sea.
I know Varys and Tyrion have preached to Daenerys about saving the city and not killing everybody. at this point, I don't see how you do take over King's Landing without bloodshed. At this point, I mean, I'm all about innocent people not dying, but you lost half your forces. You lost 2 dragons now. How can you take King's Landing without a little bit of bloodshed? You know what I'm saying? And like, it's a great power play about Cersei moving everybody into the city to show this dragon conqueror that she don't care about you. But at this point, you
Should have asked your assassin, bro, because that's how they could have done it.
yeah.
Well, she's on her way, though. She's on her way. She's on her way with the Hound. I like the fact that they're reunited again because even though the Hound said that, in so many words, Arya annoyed him, she wouldn't stop talking, but she learned a lot from him, and he learned a lot from her as well. He, I feel, in many ways, learned to be a better human being. Who knows what kind of strategy they could be planning together once they arrive at King's Landing, but we shall see. So I'm looking forward to next week's episode. And there's another thing that we're looking forward to, guys. Next Sunday, we will be attending Houston Comic Palooza. It's our very first time. I'm very excited about that. And we have a great opportunity to meet the Mother of Dragons herself and her now late advisor, Missandei. So
That's why I'm not sad about her dying, because I get to see her in person.
Can y'all ask them a question for me? Can you ask if that was a Daenerys cup next to her?
oh my gosh.
'Cause I'm pretty sure
We
it
could
was.
take this and they could sign it, maybe.
Oh man,
Yeah,
that'd be
that'd be
amazing.
perfect.
That'd be
Then we can sell it on eBay.
Yeah, look forward to it.
That'd be amazing. So we're definitely going to be capturing that on our social media platforms, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Be sure to follow us and spend the day with us as we attend Comic Palooza next Sunday, which also happens to be the 5th episode of Game of Thrones. And from Amelia Clark on one of the late night shows said that it's going to be a really good episode. So hopefully, fingers crossed, it's going to be good.
My expectations are this low.
Oh,
This
man.
low.
And again, it's Mother's Day. A great gift is the Watchers in the Basement podcast. Send your mom our YouTube link or
Yep.
SoundCloud. We'd love to have new viewers or listeners.
I think
And,
our moms watch it.
Yeah, my mom for sure watches it. She likes and comments. I mean, she's like one of our people. So
The gift keeps on giving. So
Thanks,
all
Mama
about it.
Boyd.
yeah, thank you. So thanks for watching. We appreciate it. And once again, remember, we're on social media. We're on YouTube. We're on SoundCloud. Please listen and follow us. And we'll be back next week to talk about the 5th episode, the Battle of King's Landing. It looks like it's what it's going to be.
Well, we don't know the title of it.
Yeah,
because they
is
don't
the
release
battle
titles.
is that going to be encapsulated in this one episode, or are we going to save something for the last episode?
I don't even know. I just want it to be good.
It better just be
Yeah.
one episode, because
Yeah.
if they didn't give the Night King like more than one, I don't want to see this. Like,
Oh man.
Maybe he'll come back. Never know.
don't play with my
it's Game of
emotions,
Thrones.
Justin. I hope so. I hope he does.
But the other thing too is that once this series ends, we do have a prequel series, to look forward to.
Yeah.
And maybe because The Long Night is already in production, which is the prequel, maybe we'll actually learn more about the Night King at that point,
Hopefully.
and
'Cause
how
this, yeah.
how everything
And-
came to be.
We're also going to be reviewing Avengers Endgame. So look for that
Yes.
later this week. Thanks again for watching. We appreciate it.
And remember, the basement is dark and full of terrors.
I was a raven, by the way.